The next time you are recycling a tin can, don't. Save the can, wash it thoroughly with soap, rinse, and remove the paper label. Now fill the can or cans with clean water and place them into the freezer. While you wait for the water in the cans to freeze, hop online and start searching for a simple winter design that you like. Then, center your paper graphic onto the can and tape it in place with some strong packing tape. Using a drill, find a center point on your graphic and drill a hole vertically through the can and into the ice below. You don't need to drill far, just enough to get through the can. Continue to drill holes along the pattern of your template. If using a linear graphic like my Snowflake, there is an alternate way of doing this. Lay your pattern out where you can see it. Most tin cans will have a vertical seam on one side of the can. Drill a vertical line of holes along this seam. Then take a marker and do a quick sketch of the snowflake onto the can. Then use your rough sketch to drill the holes. Most tin cans have horizontal grooves in the can, and it is easiest to drill through the groove depressions. Once you're done drilling the holes, run your can under warm water to melt the ice inside. If your can has any bumps or bulges that you don't want, take a hammer and hammer those spots out. Take a votive candle or a puck light and place it in the can to illuminate the punched pattern in your new winter lantern. I hope this inspired you to recycle a basic tin can into a unique lantern for your winter home decor.
I headed to my fridge and emptied out a pickle jar. To get it ready, I cleaned it really well and removed the label. I'm going to be using this thick jute twine that you can pick up at the dollar store, and I want to measure the length of the jar from just under the rim to the base. Now that I know how long of a piece I need, I'm going to use it to cut 5 more. Hot glue works beautifully to adhere the twine to the jar. I want to keep the glue lines quite thin so that the glue doesn't squish out around the twine. I do want to make sure the top and bottom are secure though, so I'll add a little more glue to those 2 spots. Now that all 6 pieces are in place, I want to cover the tops of the twine and the jar rim. I'm going to start adding lines of glue and then just wrap the twine around the rim until it's all covered. At the top of the jar, I want to add a piece right over the rim of the jar and then one just inside. Next, I want to add some of the twine around the jar. I'm going to start with a piece at the top, about 1/3 of the way down the jar. I'm going to use a dab of hot glue to hold the ends in place and then just wrap it around the jar. I want to trim off the excess twine at the bottom of the jar before adding the bottom twine so that I can make sure it's sitting evenly on the table. Finally, I'm just going to add one more piece around the bottom third of the jar, the same way I did to the top. I love having lots of little trees in my decor for the holidays, so I'm going to style my new lantern with some of my trees. I'm going to start with a large one, and then I'm going to add a book next to it for some height. Now I'm going to add my lantern and add some snow inside and out. I don't want to put a real candle in the jar because of the twine I put around the top, but I have this tree that lights up and it's going to be perfect. Finally, I just want to finish it all off with some more of my trees and tree candles. I absolutely love how pretty this rustic lantern is, and it was so easy to make. I hope this has inspired you to raid your fridge for a pickle jar as well.
When you take the lid off the coffee can, there is a lip on the side here. This has to be the bottom of your lantern. So we're going to flip this over and use a can opener to take off the bottom. We want to make sure that the edge is nice and smooth. This is going to allow you to get the ice lantern out nice and easy later on. So grab a few rocks and fill up the smaller can. We're going to adjust the amount of rocks a little bit later on. We're going to place the little can inside the big can and fill it up with water. The goal here is for the water to go around the sides and the bottom. So we want that center can to float just enough. So this is where you're going to adjust the amount of rocks that are in your can. Once we have just the right amount of rocks so that the can floats, grab some painter's tape or some masking tape, and we are going to secure the small can to the large can. Tape it all around the top, but leave some holes in between because we're going to fill this with some floral pieces. So once everything is secure, grab some Christmassy or winter floral pieces. I really like the glittery green and the red berries on this one. So I'm just going to cut off some stems. Once you have enough cut, you're just going to start sticking those floral pieces into the can. You can remove one piece of tape at a time if you need to, but really fill it up. And using these longer pieces, bending them if you need to, is going to make sure that they don't all float to the top, and some of them are really stuck down toward the bottom. With your can full, it is time to freeze this and turn it into an ice lantern. When it is frozen, pull it out and head over to a sink. You can pop that bottom cover off, pull the tape off, and then I'm just running some warm water over the can. It's going to melt the ice just enough to pop this out. Remove those rocks from the middle and then fill that middle can with warm water, and that will slide right out. This is beginning to look like a beautiful ice lantern. We have a few pieces of the floral stems sticking out. So I'm going to grab that wire cutter and just cut off some of the excess pieces until I'm happy with the look. You can see the red berries and the green holly peeking through the ice, and this looks gorgeous. So now I'm going to take it outside and I am going to drop an LED candle in the middle. This is something you can leave outside if you live in a colder climate all winter. As long as it stays below freezing, this is not melting. And if it does melt, so be it, you can make another one. I hope this inspired you to go create an ice lantern for your holiday and winter decor.
Save your pickle jars, especially the large ones. They can make beautiful seasonal decor. So when you're done with that jar, the first step is to put it in a bath of warm, soapy water. Make sure you get that pickle odor out of there, and also the warm soapy water is going to help take that label right off. Start by grabbing a roll of contact paper. I really like using this for crafts because it is a temporary adhesive and it's going to work really well to decorate this jar. So I cut out a little star shape and I'm just going to trace it onto the contact paper, and I'm going to cut out about a dozen stars in different sizes. Once the stars are cut out, they work just like stickers. Peel the back off and place them all around your pickle jar. Make sure to push them on really well so there's no bubbles or gaps. Once all the stars are placed, it's time to paint this. We are going to use a frosted glass spray paint. So I've got this in a well-ventilated covered area, and I'm just gonna add about 2 light coats. When you spray this on, it's going to look wet. You're not gonna see that frosted look right away. So once you've got 2 coats on there, grab a tweezer and we're gonna pull off those stars right away. Now that it's completely dry, we have this beautiful frosted glass look with these stars all around it. Now it's time to dress it up and give it a farmhouse look. I'm gonna use some rope from the dollar store and a Christmas sprig with some red berries and some green leaves. I'm just gonna wrap the rope around the top, secure it with a little hot glue, and then snip off a few of the berries and leaves and tuck those into the rope on the top. This is another area where you can really get creative. Use some floral pieces that really work for you. Add a little rope, add a lot of rope, whatever you want to do to match your decor. Once all the embellishments are on, I'm going to use a battery-powered tea light to drop on the inside. And that's it. I've got a beautiful farmhouse lantern. I love the glow that it gives off, especially with that frosted glass. Save those pickle jars and turn them into beautiful lanterns for the holiday season. I hope this video has inspired you to go create your own.